Welcome to Padel Smash Academy.
And we are all things paddle.
Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Padel Smash Academy. Today we're so excited to have the mesmerizing, the incredible, and most importantly, Pan-American champion 2023, Andrea Samson.
Well, first of all, thank you, Julian. Thank you, Cesar, for having me here.
Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Paraguay, Asunción, and I lived there for 14 years. And then I was playing tennis over there.
Okay, so tennis was your first racket sport?
Yeah.
And that was in Paraguay?
Yeah, because my uncle played Davis Cup for Paraguay. So he would always like travel back and forth, like Miami to Paraguay. He would always bring us like little rackets or tennis balls.
Cool.
So like my two older brothers played tennis and my parents played tennis and it was a tennis family.
So was there paddle down there at all? Or did you even know about it? Or
So I remember there were like these courts right next to the tennis courts in some clubs. But they were always empty and like we would use them for warm up. Like I didn't know what sport that was because nobody was ever playing there.
Yeah.
And whenever I had a tennis tournament, I would go there and play against the wall, you know? But I never knew what it was until I came here. Like,
wow. So you were introduced to paddle here then?
Yes.
So did you come here? How did you get to the States here? Was it through tennis?
Yeah, so I was 14 and actually my older brother wanted to play tennis in the university.
Okay.
So he told my parents like, hey, I want to do the same thing as my uncle. Like I want to go to Miami to play tennis. So he came, then my parents came, then my other brother came, and then I came.
And what was the stepping stone into paddle? How were you introduced into paddle?
Yeah, so I played tennis college, and then after college, I needed a break. I was like, I don't want to touch a racket, see a racket. I don't want to. I would still watch tennis, but I didn't want to play it. So I had like a break for like 2 years, and I'm like, I feel like I need to do something, you know, after work. Like I'm always used to having an activity, you know. So it was COVID, and my brother Rodrigo, which everyone knows him in the paddle community. He was playing already and he would always invite me and I was like, no, that's like an old people's sport.
You probably thought it was pickle.
No, I didn't know about pickleball at all. But I was like, no, that's an old people's sport. Like, but then it was like, I was bored one day. My friend was over here. And he was like, let's go play. And we're like, okay, let's go try it out. And then I just got hooked.
Oh, no, I have a question for you. What happened in tennis? Did you just get burnt out? Or why did you stop playing too much? I mean, that's pretty drastic.
It was a combination. Like I felt like with tennis, I accomplished everything already. You know, like I played juniors, I played high school, I played college. I knew I wasn't going to go pro. You know, I was already like, retired
but
basically.
How about, like, a hobby though, you know, like
yeah, like I would still play, but I think after college I was a little bit burnt out. It was a lot, you know. So I just needed a break.
So tell us, I mean, that day, when you step into a paddle court, how was it?
Oh, it was at Real. It was around Christmas. Like it was very cold, I remember. And I played with my friend Astrid, which is also from Paraguay. My brother and I don't remember who it was. And it was a group of Paraguayans actually. And we just played and I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. You know, we play tennis. Like we're just going to hit every ball really hard and we're going to win the points. And then you're like, nope. You see the other person standing right there and like, poop.
Yeah,
so
rude awakening.
Exactly. And I'm like, oh, like you forget that there's literally a wall behind you that she's your friend, you know?
And I assume all smashes, right?
Yeah.
Always smash, right? So at what point did you take paddle more serious? Like you say, hey, like I have to take lessons and I have to actually learn how to play paddle versus playing tennis in the paddle court. When did that happen?
Yeah, so I just started like playing just like matches, you know, and I was losing everything. I was like, I actually got frustrated and I stopped. Oh, I also got injured.
Oh.
So I stopped for like a few months. And then I was like, I don't know if this is like for me, like I'm losing every match. But then someone invited me for a tournament and I played. And then I was like, okay, I feel like if I actually train and if I actually take this seriously, I can get better. And I wanted to get better because I would like see my friend that she was already playing better because she was practicing. And I was like, okay, let's do this. Like, let's give paddle a second chance.
Okay.
And then the rest is history.
Wow.
So how did you do that at that point? Did you just start playing? How did you learn? Because you play tennis. I had played tennis, same thing with him. And you get into a court and you're kind of playing tennis in the paddle court. And there's a point where you got to start learning, right? Rather you're YouTubing or you take some lessons or something. So what did you do?
There's a lot that goes behind that. Well, first step was taking lessons.
So who was your first coach then? Who was your first coach?
Angel was my first coach.
Way to go, Angel.
Angelito. Angelito. But then I switched to Nico.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, it's, they have the academy together. So it's the same. But I just started playing like a lot more matches with Nico, and I just started playing a lot. And he helped me like during lessons and during the matches, he would tell me, no, don't go forward. No, stay back. Patience.
Yeah,
because I wanted to hit everything so hard and I still do. So they yell at me sometimes. They're like, just go a little slower.
So how long was that transition where you kind of learned paddle, like the back walls, the aerial shots, different aerial shots, like the bandeja vibra? How long did that transition take for you to learn?
Yeah. For me, it actually takes a little bit longer than I think other girls because I was always a singles player in tennis.
Yeah. Everybody was, I think, nobody plays doubles that much. It's singles. Well, at least for me, it was like singles.
Yeah, but there are some girls like, that play here, like, and, my level that they were a lot more like doubles players.
Oh, okay.
So, they're a little bit better at the volley. I would never go up to the volley when I would play because I'm so short. So then they would just love me, So I even went to college telling my coach, like, don't put me in doubles. Like I didn't have a good volley.
Right. So baseline.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the 80s where people came to volley.
So
no more,
Yeah.
Serena Williams style. Beat the crap out of the ball as soon as possible. And
Kind
that's
of,
it.
yeah. I would hit everything on the rise. Like they would lob me, but my uncle actually told me like, if they lob you, just hit everything on the rise. So I got really good at hitting like everything on the rise.
Good. Here you have to let it pass and hit it off the back wall.
Yeah. Exactly. But I feel like for me, it just took a little bit longer, to make the click and do the switch, like from tennis to paddle, play, with another person. Because for me, it was like, oh, I'm a singles player. Like I solve my own problems. I don't need to talk to anyone. Like I don't need to get mad at anyone. They don't need to get mad at me. But playing with another person is totally different. And it's hard sometimes, like everyone has different personalities, different tempers. Someone, you have a bad day or they have a bad day, but I really started liking that, just like working that. And I still struggle. There's a lot to improve,
Like it's a team sport.
Exactly.
Each side has the responsibilities of what they need to do.
Yeah.
And you got to work together.
Yeah.
And try to motivate each other too. Well,
exactly.
It's great when things are great, but when things are bad, you got to try to stay positive.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, I don't always play with the same partners, so like you always have to adapt. It's sometimes like right now in the Pan Americans, like I didn't know her, like my partner. I just met her there and we needed to, figure it out kind of thing.
So let's talk about now that you mentioned it, the Pan Americans. So USA, for the first time in the history of the Pan American Games, won the championship. We made history.
Yeah.
So tell us all that experience from the moment you got into the plane, all through winning all the matches and all that.
Yeah, amazing experience. Honestly, made a great.
First, where was it?
Okay, sorry. It was in Cancun. It was
Okay.
actually supposed to be in Acapulco, but then unfortunately there was a
The
really big
yeah.
hurricane.
Yeah.
So it was like 3 weeks before, and we were still waiting. Like, what's gonna happen? Is it gonna be the same dates, or is it gonna be the same location? Like, so they confirmed Cancun like kind of like the week before.
So that's good. And tell us a little bit, people are a little bit confused. What is the format of the Pan Americans? I know there are different divisions and all that. Can you tell us a little bit how does that work?
Yeah, of course. So the one that we went right now to Cancun is the amateur. Amateur.
Okay.
So it's from the 2nd to 6th division.
Okay.
Okay.
And how do you become second division? Who decides what
So
division
it's-
you are?
The coach, based on your level,
Okay.
or history in the Pan Americans or ranking.
So second is better than 6, or 6
yes.
is better than second?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, there was another Pan Americans. I don't know if you guys watched, like in Venezuela, like a month ago.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the absoluto. That's the absolute.
Okay.
That's like first division. So
Okay,
those
that's professional
the
players
best.
where Lamperti played
Yes,
and all these guys.
like all the best from
each
all
country.
country, like they can go there, you
Okay.
know. So yes, Chingoto was there, Lamperti was
The
there,
pros, yeah.
Yeah.
Augsburger was
Okay.
there.
And this one, what is the difference?
So this is like a level down. So that was the best, and this is like 2nd to 6th.
Okay.
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 So which level did you play at?
So I played 2nd.
Second. Okay.
Yes,
Nice.
I played 2nd. Last year, I actually played 3rd with Astrid,
So
and we won 3rd division last year.
So now in each divisions, is there categories? Like you mentioned amateur. So is there categories in there, or it's just division 2?
No,
No.
meaning men and women, or is there mix, or each division? So second division is only women's, or it's men's
Yes.
too?
So there's men and women, and each have 2nd to 6th.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
got it.
And you can have like, so USA can have like 2 teams in 2nd division, or they can have 3 teams in 4th division.
Okay.
You know, it
So
doesn't.
it's unlimited. You can
there's
have 10
no
teams.
limit.
Can you have 10 teams?
I actually don't know if there might be a limit,
Okay.
but you can have 2 or 3.
Okay.
And like we actually had an instance that USA played against USA in the semis or in the quarterfinals, and yeah, that's unlucky because you wanna
Right.
get the furthest, But
So each division, each country presents teams for each division,
yes,
right? And
yes.
then you play only within your division. You don't
Yes.
play third. You don't play.
No.
So you play in your division,
Yeah.
and then you play what? It's a main draw and then a consolation, or how's that work?
Yeah, so depending how many teams there are, like for example, Chile didn't have like a 2nd division, or Paraguay didn't have a 2nd division. But there were 2 groups, 3 teams. And so we played Mexico first. We won that match. Then we played Argentina. We lost that match. So we ended up 2nd in that group.
Okay.
So we played against the first of the other group.
Okay.
We played Brazil. We lost to them. That was the semis.
So that means that you're out.
So then we had to play for the 3rd or 4th
Okay.
position.
And you earned points. So USA won by what? Earning the most points?
Yes, because the furthest you get, the most points you get. So
Okay.
like USA in 6 divisions was I don't know the exact number, but in women in 6 divisions we were in 4 finals and 1 semis.
Okay.
And
So-
do you get points only if you win a match or win that division, or how does that work? And what if you lose? You get no points, I assume.
No, it's basically the furthest you get. So that's
So the more you made it to the final, you get X amount of points. Semifinals, you get less
Exactly.
points. And all
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
All right.
So,
You know what I mean?
So the USA won. Did they win any divisions, or they made all to the finals?
No, we won 3rd division women, 4th division. So sorry, in the women's we won 3rd division, 4th, 6th division. I think we lost in 5th. And then in 2nd we lost in semis.
So and then it's an overall points.
Yes.
That's how you become a champion.
Exactly. So
Oh,
then
okay.
because we had so many people, we had great teams, and we, in the women we got to 4 finals. In the men we got, I can't remember, but we got to maybe 2 finals and 1 semis. So overall, USA was almost in every single final and semis, you know?
Wow.
So that's why we collected a lot of points. And I think we ended up with 152 compared to Argentina, which was, I think like 146,
Wow,
something
that's
like that.
close, huh?
Yeah.
That's close.
Yeah.
So let me ask you one thing. So now that you mentioned that, so if you present more teams, you will earn more points or not? Or how does that work?
You have more probability. Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. So
Exactly.
basically, the more team players you bring, the more possibilities for you to win.
Yeah.
So you guys won the overall, and you won just a few divisions.
Yes.
Okay. Do the men? How do the men did?
The men, the level was really good.
Okay.
So I know in second division, I think we lost in the semis, which was Fernando Alarcon and Vinny De Francesco. In third, I think they lost in the final. So they did pretty good actually. We had a lot of young players that, you know, they all live in Argentina. They train in Argentina and they're fresh out of the oven, basically. And they're really good.
So they were representing the United States.
Yes.
Oh.
So that's another thing, you know, like all the teams were like, oh my gosh, USA, you know, like what happened? Like, because last year I went and it was only 2 girls. It was me and Astrid, you know.
That's it.
We were the only girls that went.
And why is that? So what was the difference this year?
I think the coaches, like actually, like I know Angel and Mariana and Luifer, you know, they did a really good job in, you know, recruiting and motivating the players to go. I think last year it was also like right after the World Championships, there was like another event going on, like maybe like people didn't even know how it worked, or so there wasn't a lot of like motivation to go. Gotcha. So yeah, it was only Astrid and I for the girls, and I think only like 6 men.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, 6 men went last year.
And this year, how many?
This year we were like, I don't even know, like 14 girls, and like we were a lot. I don't know if you saw the pictures.
I did.
We're like 30 people.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yes.
that's good. And out of those 30 people, how many were from overseas, so from another country?
So okay, so that's like my favorite part, because all the other countries, you know, even like, you know, I'm from Paraguay, and like the Paraguayan team were like, why are you not playing for Paraguay? Like, why are you playing for the US, you know? Or like people that I saw last year, and they were like, what happened to the US? Like, there are so many people now, but all of you speak Spanish. So like, how does that work? And we're like, well, that's the US, you know? We have people like, you know, I'm from Paraguay. We had Puerto Rico. We had Venezuela, Argentina.
You should have said I'm from Miami. That's what we speak down here.
Yeah. Seriously. And we had like Ana Maria, she's from Serbia, you know? We had Romania, and like, but that's what I would tell everyone, like, you know,
that's what makes to be American, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
the US.
That's a beautiful. So when did you guys find out about that? You guys won, because you didn't know until the end, right? So what was it? How was it?
It was funny.
Everybody was counting points and like, oh my god,
There's like 10 different types of varieties of points.
What?
No, we win. No, we didn't. It was so close. Right?
No, yeah. So we knew we were gonna be like top 3 for sure, because Argentina, they were solid, but they were not in like almost every final like we were, you know? So we were like, we know we're really close. So we started like, I remember we had to wait until like the men's division final ended, you know? So we went to dinner while they started to play. So we all went to dinner, and we're all like trying to count points. Like, okay, we got to the final here, then we got to the semis there, and blah, blah, blah. Like started counting. And then Armando sends like a message on the group chat, and he's like, it's official, USA won. And we're like, is it a joke, or is it actually official, you know? And he's like, yes, it's official. And we started like screaming in the restaurant. Like we started posting already, like USA champions. And we're like, we haven't even gotten like the trophy yet, but it's official.
Imagine if they made a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we like went back to the club, and you know, we were like, USA, nice. USA. We were singing like, we are the champions.
That must have been awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then, you know, the ceremony, and then, Brazil third, Argentina second, USA first, and it
My
was
God.
great.
Now, who brought in the most points? The guys or the girls?
The girls.
Wow.
Women power.
Ah, right there. How many,
Girl power.
how many points did the girls bring in versus the guys? You know, or
I mean, that's what I like. What I said, like the girls, we were in 6 divisions. We were in
gotcha.
4 finals and 1 semis. The men,
We're in 2, right?
I
semifinals.
I think only 1 final.
Yeah.
I don't. I
Girl
need to
power,
check.
baby. Love it.
Man, look at that.
No, it's awesome. Like I said, like last year we were 2 girls. Right now we were like at least 14.
And how does it work? So you get a big trophy for everybody, or you get medals? How's that work?
So the ones that got to the final, they get a medal, like the champions, and the finalists.
Okay.
They get a medal, and then the country that gets 3rd, 2nd, or 1st gets a trophy. But then the federation stays with that trophy. So
Oh,
the
really?
USPA
Oh, so
has
like
our
the World Cup
trophy.
in soccer.
Yeah.
You know, they don't let
Exactly.
they give you a fake one.
Stand up, like the stand.
So we all took a picture with it, but then we have to give it back.
Yeah, you got security, please bring it over.
Yes.
So how many games did you play, and how many points do you think you contributed to the whole 152?
I played 2 matches in the group phase, then the semis, and then for the 3rd and 4th place.
Okay.
So you played what, 5 matches?
So I played 4,
4.
but there were some people that played like 6, you know, because other divisions, I didn't have to play the quarters. They had to play group phase, quarters, semis, final, you know. We didn't have quarters.
So, and what do you think about U.S. level of playing compared to the rest of the countries? Were you guys pretty even? The matches were close. I mean, what was the level? Or you guys really were much better than everyone else?
I think there's a lot to improve. But I mean, you can see, you know, like our girls team is like, I think maybe 100% like ex-tennis players, you know?
Yeah.
And which is great. You know, we have great volleys, you know, we're fast. You know, we have a lot of tennis skills, you know, but you can see that in other countries, they are 100% paddle players.
yeah.
You know, they were born with it. They've been playing since they were
that's the first
little.
sport.
Yeah. But you know, like that's good and bad. I mean, like at the end, sometimes you don't even recognize like, okay, he is 100% paddle player. And
So, but you guys don't feel overwhelmed of the level of playing?
No,
So
not
the
at
matches
all.
that were pretty close.
Yeah, like Sophie and I, we lost to the girls that won, the champions. We lost 7-5 in the 3rd set.
Oh my God.
We were so close.
Wow.
And that was in the group phase.
Damn, heartbreaker.
It was a match that it was the 2nd day and it was supposed to start at 8 p.m. and it rained and then, like we didn't have enough courts. We started the match at 11:30 p.m. We ended at 1:30 p.m.
Wow, that's a long day.
And we had it. We were 6-4 in the first. We had, I think, 5-4, 6-5 in the second. We lost in the tiebreak. And then we lost 7-5 in the third against the champions. So, like, we were so close.
Yeah. Oh, man. Heartbreaker, huh?
So now let's talk about Italy.
Oh, yes.
The food, delicious, the pizzas, the spaghettis. But let's talk about Italy paddle.
Rome, right? Rome.
Pasta alla matriciana. Pizza, pasta, and vino.
And lots of
And
paddle.
gelato.
And gelato. What were you doing in Italy?
Okay, crazy story. A friend, Lucy, you know Lucy.
Yeah.
She called me one day and she was like, "Hey, do you want to go to a trip as a like sports ambassador to Italy, like to the Vatican in November?" And I was like, "What do you mean? Like, what is that?" And she was like, "Well, there's not a lot of details yet, but do you want to go?" And I'm like, "Sure," because she couldn't go. So I just said sure, and she connected me to this guy, Anderson, which is the other sports envoy that went. So he's like, there's this program, it's called the Sports Envoy Program. Basically, we go to Vatican for a week and we like give clinics, like do interviews, like
Clinics of what?
paddle.
To the Vatican? What, to
Yes.
the Pope?
Do they bless?
What
the
do you mean?
Do they bless the paddle for you? So you can
What do you
play
mean
better?
you go to the Vatican to play paddle?
I was like that. I had so many questions.
The Ceux Diablo was not allowed to enter into the Vatican.
Exactly.
The paddle.
I had so many questions. I was like, dude, am I gonna play paddle with the Pope? You know, like, how does that work exactly? So it's really cool. Like, I didn't know this program existed. So the U.S. Department of State has like a sports diplomacy program, which is like the Ministerio de Deportes.
Okay.
Like, you know what?
Yeah.
Each country
Sports
has.
minister. Or,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ministry of Sports. So they have this program every year with a bunch of like other sports. Like they've done tennis with like Billie Jean King, and you know, they've done soccer and like, but this year was the first year they did paddle.
But they do only one sport? They do many sports?
They do many sports
within the same...
throughout the year.
Yeah.
Throughout the year. And they do it like in all parts of the world. So this year was the first year they did with paddle. And so they partner with the embassy of the Vatican this year, the U.S. embassy in the Vatican. So they were like, hey, we want to do this program. The Vatican was, because paddle is really big in Italy.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, let's do paddle. You know, like that's going to be fun. And the U.S. was like, what is paddle? You know?
Yeah.
So they contacted Anderson, and they were like, okay, you are going, you need to get a girl, you know, to like a guy and a girl.
Yeah.
So I talked to him and I was like, sure, I'm in. And then they gave us the details, and it's basically like, you know, a week to, it's basically public relations, you know, between the US and Italy, but through sports.
Wow.
That's the beauty of it. You know, like they use sports as the, you know, the connection between people, different languages, different countries, different conditions, because it was very beautiful, like the whole week.
But you were playing paddle?
Yes. So one day, the first day, we went to a paddle club and we were teaching kids with, you know, like different conditions. Like they were either like they had autism or Down syndrome. Yeah. They were in wheelchairs. So with disabilities, and another school as well from like the more like vulnerable community. So it was actually a very good challenge for me. You know, one thing is to teach paddle, or just like play a match. But another thing was, you know, to teach 4 kids that they speak Italian and they were deaf as well. Like some people, they were deaf. So I speak Spanish and a little bit of Italian. So I was just throwing a mix of English, Spanish, Italian, like signs, you know. And it was a lot of patience that I needed to have, you know, and you know, there were like cameras there, and like the embajador was there, the ambassador, the US ambassador was there. The kids were there, the parents, the media people were there, you know. So it was very fun. Honestly, it was that was, I think, the highlight of the whole trip.
Wow.
You know, teaching those kids, and they were having the time of their lives, you know.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you know, sometimes it's not easy to communicate, but you take a paddle and the ball and they have a good idea and they just want to have fun and hit it, and you can kind of follow them through a little bit, you know. Have fun, you know. Yeah,
exactly. But it was, like I said, it was a challenge, but it was so beautiful. Like different people, like, you know, and they just wanted to be there and, you know, connect. Like, that's what I kept saying, like, in all the interviews or the questions that they would make. Like, it doesn't matter where we come from or what conditions we have or how we play. As soon as we step into a court, it doesn't even have to play paddle. You know, it could be soccer, tennis, anything.
The language of sports.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that was the message of the whole trip. You know, we did that the first day. Then we went to schools to also talk to teenagers. It was, you know, they were a little bit older, teenagers, just about sports, like my experience and Anderson's experience. I come from tennis, he comes from squash, but we both play paddle now, you know, representing the US. And we also met the Pope. Side
You did?
note.
Oh,
Yes.
you're
Does he play?
kidding me.
Does he play?
No. So every Wednesday, the Pope does an audience whenever he's in Rome.
Yeah.
In the Vatican, he does an audience to like thousands of people. It was my first time in Rome, and it was beautiful. So the embassy was the one, that was planning everything. They partner with Atletica Vaticana, which is like the Vatican's sports ministry. Like, so they do a lot of other sports like cycling, tennis, basketball. They still have to do.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, we're going to the audience. We have to go there. It's like, it lasts like 3 hours. The Pope talks and they translate in every single language. And then we got to take a picture with him.
Wow.
We had to wait until the last one, but we were there. We shook his hands. We have the pictures.
Wow.
I'll show you the pictures after.
Did you make him hold the paddle at least?
He didn't
That was
hold
so
it.
cool, right?
But we were holding it. We were
Should've
holding
gave him
it.
one.
Oh my God, we gotta see those pictures for our B-rolls.
Did he bless your paddle?
He did. I had a Sharpie there ready for him to sign it, but I was like, what am I gonna do with paddle after? I'm not gonna use it. I'm just gonna frame
my
it there.
God, That's beautiful. That's a beautiful story.
Yeah. So we have, I also thought, oh my God, I have to wear a dress, like very formal. It's like going to a church.
Yeah.
But then the people there, they were like, no, he wants to see. He loves sports. The Pope, he's Argentinian. You know, so he loves soccer. He loves sports. That's why we were there.
Yeah.
And so we were able to, dress in sports clothes and hold our paddle racket right there in front of him. So we have our picture with our
Nice.
Oh my
nice.
God.
Adidas paddle.
Nice. Now, did you get to pick up any other games there with your level players?
No, we didn't have time to actually play paddle, but we went to like 2 schools to talk about sports. Okay. We played a little bit of baseball actually. Then we went to the audience. We went to the paddle club. We did a bunch of like media interviews as well.
Wow.
So it was pretty
excellent.
cool.
Now you mentioned Adidas. Are you sponsored by Adidas or?
Yes, I am.
Oh, you are.
Yes.
Congratulations. That's great.
Thank you.
Done.
Now what did
I'm
they?
an Addy player.
Oh, an Addy player. So what paddle do you use? Use the Addy Pro or
The one that Alex Ruiz played, the Control.
Absolutely. Golden point questions.
Right. We can.
Oh yeah. I should learn the
that.
name of my racket. It's something Control.
And so they just apply it with the equipment. Is that what they do?
Yes.
Or? Okay. Great. That's
So let's talk about the PPL and the famous polar bears. How was that experience?
Famous.
infamous.
No, as you know, like the Toronto team had a little bit of struggles, but it was a beautiful experience, It was kind of like, while I was there, I didn't realize, but after everything ended, I realized that, wow, like I was so grateful, like I was grateful to having the opportunity to play.
They're doing a great job, bringing, people together, franchises, teams. I mean,
yes.
it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And it's just getting bigger and bigger right now.
So do you see yourself going to the draft and playing next year for the PPL?
Well, I applied, so I'm waiting to get drafted from a team.
So what team do you want to be on? Yeah, your choice.
So let me ask you something. So every year you have to do the draft for the PPL?
No, so the players that already played could have the contract renewed if the team wanted to renew them.
Okay.
I didn't get renewed. So then my best...
You're free agent.
Yes, free agent. Exactly.
So now you have to reapply it again?
Yes,
and
exactly.
Any team can choose you?
Any team can choose me.
Okay.
So which team would you like to play for if you had a choice?
If I had the choice... Ooh, that's a tough question.
Well, everybody's listening and watching, so... You
see your camera. Go for it.
Go.
Orlando, maybe? Daddy Yankee?
Oh my God. the flow rider.
Exactly. I just feel like it's gonna be like a very fun team, you know.
I knew you were that gangster type with a hat. That's
reggaeton.
cool.
We're gonna listen some reggaeton
Yeah,
before
look
going
at
into the
that.
matches,
That's
you know.
cool.
That's awesome. So 2022, Dubai.
Ooh,
Experience there.
How was it?
oh my gosh.
Played against Bayer, right?
First
La creme,
match.
la creme of paddle.
Yes.
That's it. It doesn't get any higher than that.
I mean, first match against Martita Ortega and Bea Gonzalez.
Well, give us a little recap for our viewers what it means when I said Dubai and all that. So what was Dubai? What?
So that was the World Championships.
So the World Cup of
Yes,
paddle.
the
pretty
World
much.
Cup of paddle. Yeah.
And United States competed, and then you played for the women's team.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, there were 8 girls that were selected for the team. So we went to play.
Who did you play with? Who?
Well, each match was with different players. You don't
Oh,
have
you
a
didn't-
set
Oh, you have
partner
a
for the
set-
whole thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So who chooses the players?
The coach.
Okay.
The coach.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, they choose the 8 players, and then each match you can, I mean,
But you can still use the same players. I mean,
yeah,
let's say-
exactly. Like if you see that these 2 players have a great chemistry, like you can use them together for all the matches. But if you want to change, you can change.
So you play with.
So first I played with Mariana. I played with Brittany. I played with Dani, and I don't know if I'm not
So
remembering.
Mariana Talarico, Brittany Dubbins, and
Yeah. Daniela Ruiz.
Daniel Ruiz.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All
And-
good players. Mariana was the coach, right? This year.
Oh, and sorry, and Nancy.
and
And Nancy.
Okay.
And that was a very important match against Germany. If we would have won that match, we would have been top 8. And we lost in the 3rd set. It was...
So, and tell us that, one thing is the Pan Americans, the other one is the World Cup. Was there a big difference in the level of playing?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Yeah, of
What
course.
would you say was the big difference between you guys and everybody else?
No, because in the World Cup, each country takes their best of the best players.
The pros.
Yes, the
pretty
pros.
much, yeah.
Like I said, first match against Martita Ortega and Bea Gonzalez.
So how was that match?
Yeah, how's
It
the experience,
was-
man?
It was literally, I wasn't even supposed to play that match. And then last minute, something happened. And then, okay, Andrea, you're
Must have been
playing.
so excited to play that, man. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And I think we lost the first one. Oh, we lost 6-2, 6-0. So we won 2 games.
Not
Okay, so
bad.
wait, but let me ask you. I mean, I'm also a coach. So what do they have that you guys don't have? What is the big difference there?
I mean, Bea, she has a por tres, like
Really?
with her eyes closed,
Okay.
Martita, she's so good at defending. So it was also a year ago, I was not playing the same level I'm playing right now.
It's training,
Okay.
it's experience as well.
Yes.
You know,
Going there, obviously we were not prepared. Like we had like a relatively new team because it was like 4 players that were, more experienced, and then 4 players that we were a little bit younger, and we were still relatively new to paddle, So it was, I think, the beginning of a new team. Right now, we have a lot of, ex-tennis players like me that were just diving into a paddle world right in the past year or 2 years,
Yeah.
So, and then you're playing against like these pros,
The top 10 in the world.
like literally top 1, top 10. But I was able to do an ace of second serve to Martita Ortega.
Oh my God.
whoa.
She was sending a Snapchat message probably or
Should
something. I
record
don't
that.
know.
You gotta put it on
I have the
Instagram.
video. I'll send you the video so you can show it.
So, but what do you think about, what was the big difference? What was the big differentiator? there?
Experience.
Experience.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
did you feel equal to equal on strokes, executions and
I mean, I feel like we were still playing a little bit more tennis than paddle. It's kind of like, if you see someone playing a bandeja or la víbora, actually better, like you just like wait for it to go to the wall and
Yeah.
you know exactly what to do, like
Yeah.
someone that's not really confident in their game yet, like you're like, what do
don't know
I
how-
do?
they
I don't know how to defend a víbora,
yeah, and they're
you know?
they're gonna pick up the mistakes right away, and
Exactly.
they're gonna exploit them
Yeah.
to the max.
I-
they've been playing since they're 7, 8 years old.
Exactly.
You know, paddle every
Yeah,
day, you
yeah.
know? I mean,
Yeah. And I also don't think that they were playing there 100% in the first match. You know, they know that we were like a fan.
Yeah.
You know, we were playing
It was
against.
very obvious, probably. I would have done the same thing.
Exactly.
Afterwards, can you sign here?
Yeah. No, exactly. Like they know, and it wasn't only us. Like, you know, every single country, like right after they play, especially Spain, they know that after the match, you know, they were so nice. Like they know that you want to take a picture with them, like team picture, individual pictures, you know. So they were super nice, and you know, the girls, Spain won, and for the guys it was Argentina, which was like a major change, and it's just unreal to see them. You know, like you watch World Padel Tour, and they play with their partners, but then you see like. I think that was the first time like the Super Pibes played together.
Yeah.
And it was so exciting to see them play.
Oh, you actually see them play?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my! And then I will never forget. So my favorite player is Tapia.
Okay.
And like we were having lunch like the first day, I think, and you know, you see all the players like, just picking up lunch right there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like Martin Dineno, oh my god, like Paquito, like, oh my gosh. And then I'm like, I was just waiting for Tapia.
Where are you, Tapia? Where are you?
to show up.
Agus.
Exactly. And
Did you get a picture with him?
yes, I got a picture with all of them.
Cool.
Except except Lebron and Galan. But now I regret it. I had the opportunity, but I wasn't a fan of them right there. But the first time I saw Tapia was actually in the elevator. So I was in the elevator and he was right next to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, Tapia. No, I didn't. I acted normal there.
Andrea, so how much is paddle in your life right now? Are you 100% involved into paddle? I mean, you want to be, where do you want to take your paddle game?
No, I actually work full time.
What do you do?
It's a sports marketing company.
Okay.
So yes, I've always wanted to work in sports. So we're very much involved in it. And I work from home right now. So I just always try to fit paddle somewhere in my schedule.
Okay. On a daily basis.
Yes. So, I mean, actually last year I was just playing every day. But then it came to a point that, you know, like I was getting injured. It was a little bit too much. I was getting tired, and then I was going to the matches playing tired. And that's not fun because you're not playing at your 100%, you know, and then you lose and then you get frustrated at that. So I started balancing a little bit more of my schedule, you know, like actually doing like my private lessons, you know, like twice a week. Then playing not like 5 matches a week, but only like 2 or 3 like high quality matches. And then the other days, which I was lacking a lot last year, was going to the gym, you know, actually working on, you know, your strength was so like, it's so important. And I wasn't doing that last year. And I got injured, like my calf, then my abductor. And like, it was all like in between the world championships and the Pan Americans and like the tournaments here. And I couldn't stop. And I took a break for 2 weeks. So my body was asking for it. Yeah. And right now it's, you know, I feel so much stronger, faster, more like I'm burned out, like not burned out, basically. Because I just balance it a little bit better.
Yeah, that's part of that transition because you're using a lot of muscles that you don't use in tennis. Yeah. Especially when you're defending. Yeah. You know, and exerts a lot of energy and use a lot of muscles that you typically don't use. And after a while, it takes a toll. And then working out those muscles on top of playing paddle helps. You know, and choosing the right games to play. You know, exactly. Not playing every 2 times a day, you know?
I was playing like 2, even 3 times a day. Wow. Some people are like, Andrea, how do you do that? You know, like. Wow.
So do you coach as well, or?
I actually want to. I mean, I started, like, I gave a few lessons, like, on the weekends, because honestly, like I can talk about paddle and play paddle for hours, you know, and for me, it's so much fun. Like and especially because there are so many girls and, you know, that I see at the clubs and, you know, they know me and they're like, hey, I want to play with you. Like, hey, I want and they tell me like, hey, like, do you coach? And I'm like, no, not yet, but would you want to take a lesson with me? And they're like, yes, of course. Like, we need more, like girl coaches. So I love to, that was part of like the Italy trip as well. It was like talking about women's sports. And that's actually kind of like what I work in the sports marketing agency as well. It's just, being a female player, a female athlete, it's so much different. Like, I mean, and right now is like the time that you're seeing it in all sports. Like, just, you see every article, like just women's sports, like there's a lot more money and investment going in all kinds of sports. So for me, just talking and like, inspiring like other girls and like, sure, I'll play with you, like, sure, like, let's do a clinic. Like, for me, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
So,
That's great. I love it. Andrea, at the end of the interview, we go into the golden point question.
I saw that. I'm a fan.
You should probably memorize and study it.
Indoor, outdoor.
Look at that.
So here we go. Do you prefer right or left?
Right.
Indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor.
Power or finesse shots?
I prefer power, but I'm starting to learn how to play with finesse.
Gotcha. Favorite paddle club?
Ooh.
Ooh, that's a tough one. Ooh.
I'll say Real.
The home where she first started.
That's honestly, I mean, that's where I started. And, that's where my people are.
Good. Dejado by 3.
Deja.
Bandeja or víbora?
Víbora all day.
Yeah, baby.
What is your best shot?
I was in my víbora, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, what is your war shot?
Ooh, my backhand volley. But it's getting better, much better.
Wow. What is your sexy, good-looking papacito player, professional player?
Agustín Tapia.
Oh, we all knew that, right? All right. Your favorite racket?
Adidas, Control.
Good. Way to go, Adidas. So who's your favorite partner that you love to play with?
Oof.
Or top 3? Or top 2?
Can it be like in mixed category or only women?
Yeah, whoever you love
Nico
to play.
Tavilo.
Oh, that's bias. I mean,
I knew that was
yeah.
I knew that was gonna happen.
That's it?
That's it.
Top 3.
Okay.
You don't got a top 3?
Oh, ooh. Astrid.
Mm-hmm.
Astrid, what's the last name?
Get it.
Get it.
Yeah. And I'll say Sophie, the girl that I played with in the Panamerican.
Good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, golden point. Who takes it?
It used to be my partner, but now I take it. I have confidence now, and I'm like,
Wow.
sure, I'll take it.
Who's your favorite coach?
Nico.
Nico. Here we go.
Wow. All right.
Nico.
So, Andrea, what's your goal for 2024 in paddle?
To hopefully be number 1 in the US.
Wow. That's awesome.
That's a good challenge. Good,
Yes.
good challenge.
All right, Andrea.
So, no. Tell us 3 things that we don't know about you and our viewers and listeners would like to know.
Ooh. I have 3 passports.
Wow. From where?
I don't even know if that's legal, but
I have to edit that one out. What countries?
Paraguay, Germany, and the US.
Wow, so you can play-
with Germany. Well, how did that happen?
So my grandpa is German. My dad's dad. Yeah. And in Paraguay, I went to a German high school. I mean, German school up to 7th grade.
Wow. So you can play for all 3 teams if you want to, right?
I mean, yeah, in Paraguay, for example, they have a lot of like requirements to be on the team. Like they have requirements like playing a certain amount of tournaments throughout the year. They start training within the team, like in Paraguay for like 3 months before the World Cup. So if they let me, sure. But right now I wouldn't want to play with
So
them.
do you speak German?
I know a few words.
Didn't you go to German school?
Yeah, but everything was in Spanish. Because in Paraguay,
okay.
so we have two official languages, Spanish and Guarani.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right.
Yeah. So my school was German, but everything was in Spanish, but we had English class, German class, Guarani, Castellano.
Wow.
So it was like a mix of everything.
Excellent.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you so much, Andrea,
Yes.
for coming to Padel Smash Academy, and we want to wish you all the luck.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much
Thank
for
you.
having
Good
me.
job.
Thank you.
Good.
Guys, if you haven't already, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications.
And remember, it's free $99. It doesn't cost you anything to hit that subscribe button.
Thanks for tuning in to Padel Smash Academy. We hope you'll find our videos informative, helpful in improving your game and learning all things paddle.
So until next time, keep improving your game. And remember, learn, play, and share.